Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Episode 263. When to HODL. Welcome to the main event.
It's the Success Sensei podcast main event.
When to HODL, which means hold on for dear life. Yeah, originally HODL has become popular, I suppose, in crypto circles and cryptocurrency investment circles. Originally, it was a misspelling of the word hold, but in and of itself, it means to hold on for dear life. HODL, hold on for dear life. It's not just relevant to cryptocurrencies, it's relevant to life, to business, and to many different investments. And it is a strategy that we have to talk about. I am biased towards holding, but it's something that you're going to have to think about. And when you're coming up with your own plans for not just on, even though I'm talking about investing a lot, it was the same in sport, with sports strategy, with competition, when to stick to the game plan or when to basically to give up on the game plan or to move on or to try to make a new strategy again. And it's not an easy decision. I think ultimately people chop and change too much, or they certainly can chop and change too much, which means that they lose out on a lot of opportunity. They certainly lose out on momentum. And a lot of the time we do need to focus and we do need to stick. Yes, highly experienced people can make a profit from, a massive number of trades or changes and profiting from the differences in between. But that is a complete lifestyle and business and job choice. That's all encompassing and all consuming if that's the strategy that you want to go to. But very often, a lot of the time, everybody's given up too soon and not sticking, which is actually harmful. So I am very pro and I'm biased towards being a hodler, as is sometimes referred to, across the board on a lot of things. So let's get into it for a second. So crypto is one of those things that I suppose has really brought that expression to the forefront. And it's to do with, what do you do when you see the numbers? What do you do when you see your investment increasing in value? Well, unless you think you're right at the top, it's a good idea to hold on for dear life. What do you do if you see it dropping? Well, at the end of the day, if the value is dropping, you don't want to consolidate your loss by selling too early, unless not just guess, unless you've really good experience or really good knowledge that you don't have the opportunity to redeem your losses. It's a good idea to hold on for dear life. Markets fluctuate, they go up and down, and this is the difference between an amateur, I suppose, investor and a professional investor. An amateur investor, might panic sell and, as I said, consolidate a loss. It's not a loss until you sell at a loss. So if you're in a position to be able to hold on, then do. So crypto, as I said, is because it's fluctuating and varying massive degrees on a daily basis and certainly on a weekly basis, more so than a lot of other investments. It's one that really tests the hold on for dear life theory. It's the same with stocks and shares. People use a strategy called dollar cost averaging, which means that they put money in every week or every month or on whatever kind of a time frame they do. On a daily basis, you can do it as well. And no matter what the price of the stock is, that money goes in and purchases more stock. So if the market is up, if the market is down, that's all irrelevant. And overall, when it's averaged out, you should be in profit because you've kept it going consistently. Property is another one. There's a lot of people that like to flip property, and there's a lot of people that are very pro hold on to the property, because when you sell that property, that's the end of that income stream. So there's no more rents coming in. Whatever the value you sold at is the value that you have redeemed. If it goes up in value, that's going to really bug you. And it's also a property. It's possible to release equity, so you didn't need to sell. And that equity release isn't taxed. It's not taxable income because, it is a loan against the property. So there's many reasons to buy and to hold and to never sell. So to really hold on for dear life. The same with business. Business goes up, business goes down. And the same with life choices, when to hold on for dear life, when not to. I suppose what really comes into my mind is, the competitive side of things. When you're competing, you ask yourself the question on a regular basis, should you quit? Should you give it up? Is the next fight the last fight, etc., etc. So I'm sure you've applied that question to yourself. And I still maintain to this day, knowing when to, cut your losses, knowing when to proceed, knowing when to just get stuck in and fight against the odds, or knowing when, if that's a futile pursuit to do that is probably one of the hardest decisions across the board in life. So another good strategy, by the way, is if you've had an initial investment and your investment vehicle basically has surpassed your initial investment. In other words, the amount of money that you put in initially at the start, the capital that you used, you can draw that down, and then from that point on, you're not so concerned, because if it goes up, if it goes down, you've already got a return on your investment. You've already gotten the same money out that you've put back in. So everything is a bonus from that stage on. That's a common enough strategy that people use. Cutting your losses is one of those things that when you know that there is no chance of a positive outcome. Now, when you really know, you've done your research, or when your goals have changed, that is the time to think about not holding on for dear life. This doesn't have to come, at the bottom of the dip. It can come before the dip. You don't have to wait until you're rock bottom, to cut your losses, to decide that you don't want to hodl. And it's very, very important to follow all news that could relate to your investment, so you're very knowledgeable about what you're doing. I didn't say it at the start, but if you are thinking about investments when we're talking about holding on for dear life, please don't invest with money that you cannot afford to lose. Now, I know that's a very loose statement and you don't want to lose any money, but money that, if you did lose it, if everything went wrong, if plan Z happened and there was a catastrophe, everything went wrong, that it doesn't impact on your lifestyle or your loved one's lifestyle. So make sure you're not gambling and using money that if something drastic happens and it's all gone, that it's going to have drastic changes to your life. So make sure that, investment money isn't, I suppose you could borrow money to use it for investments, but that's a riskier strategy. It should be earn as much as you can, save as much as you can, and then use, what you can afford to put into something. And while it is investing, you're steering away from gambling, but it's still a calculated risk. It's still a risk. So holding on for dear life is... I don't think that people realize that when they make some type of an investment, and an investment in life as well as an investment in a job, an investment in business, don't quit too soon. Don't quit too early. Quit, as I said, when you know that there's absolutely no chance of a positive outcome, or that things are going to start to slide, or things have slid, they'll never return, and because you've done a lot of research. Or it's a change of goal, or that's not the path that you want to go anymore in life, and that's fine. If that happens to you, then that's great, because you have clarity and it makes your decision easier when you know that it's not something that you want to do anymore. It's not just knowing what you might like to do. It's about knowing what you don't want to do and the path that you don't want to be on as well. Have a think about your investment strategy. Have a think about your past, have you quit too early and some things, certain things all of us have. So, reference it to your own life. Are there certain situations you wish that you, had been a hodler a little bit more? Are there other situations where you can see that maybe you should have cut your losses early? How does it relate to you? How does it relate to you, your job, maybe even your relationships, your business, your investing? I would love to hear your input. My only mission with this is not to preach, even though, as I said at the start, I have a biased view. I am more of a hold on for dear life, long-term type of a mentality. But, my mission is to basically to jog your mind and to give you something to think about and to put you on a path, and maybe just to question things, question yourself a little bit, question your strategies, and just be certain about the direction that you're going. And if I've done that, if I've just made you think about something, then I'm happy and I've achieved my mission. And I would love to hear from you, and I would love any reviews, shares, comments, etc. So message me anytime. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.